Once upon a time, in a faraway land, there lived a young shepherd named David. Now, David was a kind and gentle soul who loved nothing more than spending his days tending to his sheep and playing his harp. But life wasn't always easy for David, and sometimes he had to defend his sheep from dangerous wild animals that lurked in the nearby forest. One day, as David was grazing his sheep by the roadside, he heard the familiar sound of drums and trumpets echoing in the distance. As the music grew louder, a massive army came into view. Led by a giant warrior named Goliath, Goliath was a fearsome sight to behold, towering over the Israelites at a height of 6 cubits, or about 9.5 feet tall. He had a helmet of bronze on his head and wore a coat of mail that was also made of bronze. The giant's spear was like a weaver's beam, and he carried a shield and sword that were made for a man twice his size. Every day, Goliath would come out from the Philistine camp and challenge the Israelites to a fight. But they were too afraid to accept his challenge. Day after day, the Israelites became more and more afraid of the giant, and no one could defeat him. But David wasn't like the other Israelites. When he saw how afraid they were of the giant, he became angry. So David went to King Saul and asked him if he could fight Goliath. But the king did not take David's request seriously, because he thought the boy was just a shepherd and did not know what he was getting himself into. You may not be able to defeat him, the king said to David, but I promise you, if you can kill him, I will give you my daughter's hand in marriage and make you a great and noble leader. So David accepted the challenge. When Goliath saw this young boy approaching him with a staff in his hand, he laughed and thought it was hilarious. "Hey, little boy, are you here to fight me? If so, pick up my spear. You won't be able to reach my chest with it." But David wasn't intimidated by the giant's size or strength. He knew that he was in danger, but he trusted in God to help him. He took aim and hit the giant right between the eyes. Goliath was stunned and fell down. David then pulled out his sword and ran towards the giant. He cut off Goliath's head, and the Philistines fled. The Israelites cheered and shouted for joy as they watched Goliath's army run away. David had saved his people from their enemies and had proven that it is not the size that matters, but the heart. And so, my dear viewers, we learned a valuable lesson today. No matter how big and strong our enemies may seem, we should never lose hope. With courage, determination, and faith in ourselves, we can overcome any obstacle and achieve victory. Just like David, we must believe in ourselves and our abilities. And we should never let anyone tell us that we can't do something. Remember, it's not the size that matters, but the heart. Thank you for watching this story. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories every day. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.